All right, ratios. Ratios, write this down. Ratios is a relationship between two quantities. A ratio is a relationship between two quantities. Okay? So once again, ratios is a relationship between two quantities. Okay? The ratio is expressed as a proper or improper fraction in lowest terms. Did you get all that, Easton? All right. So now the quantities that we're talking about today, I wanted to express as a fraction unless the directions tell you just to express it another way. Okay? I like the fraction way the best. It just is. The other ways that you can express it that are okay is this way. You have, for example, how many boys we have in here? No, right now.
4.
You have 4 right now? Boys, not males, boys. I haven't been a boy for about 30 years. Okay? So we got 3. Okay? We got 3 boys. And we have how many girls? 9. Okay? So, if I want to know the ratio of boys to girls, so I want to know the ratio of boys to girls. Okay, well that would be 3 to 9. That's one way that you can express a ratio. Okay, this right here is one way. Now, when you're expressing a ratio, it's got to be in lowest terms. Okay, so is there a common number with 3 and 9? 3, and so it would be what, Matt? 1 to 3. So your actual answer, one of them would be 1 to 3. You could write it as 1 colon 3, or you could write it as 1 over 3. Okay? I prefer this answer unless the directions tell you to do it otherwise. Okay, and I'll explain what I mean by that here in a second. Okay, now, if we wanted the girl to boy ratio, okay, girl to boy ratio, it's exactly the same thing. The numbers don't change. It'd be 9 to 3, okay, which would be 3 to 1, or 3 colon 1, or 3 over 1. Now, the 3 over 1, you do not express as 3. You leave it in improper fraction form. Okay, we don't change it Bless you. We don't change it, okay, to a whole number. We just leave it as 3 over 1. All right, because we're talking about a relationship between two numbers. So if the definition is it's a relationship of two numbers, we got to have two numbers. Okay, just like if that was, let's say we had the ratio of, I'm looking for one here. Okay, let's make it up. Let's say we had 48:32. And they want us to write that as a ratio in simplest form. Okay? So first of all, we're going to take it and make it a fraction. 48/32. Can 48/32 be reduced? Okay? What can it be reduced to? What? 15. I can reduce it by 16? Okay. Raise your hands if you have an answer. Tristan? Okay. 16 can't be an answer. So if you're reducing it by 16, if that's what you're saying, then give me the answer of reducing it by 16. Okay, 3/2. Okay, so we divided that by 16/16. Okay, now, 3/2 would normally be expressed as a mixed number. 3/2 would normally be 1 1/2. Okay, we don't do that with ratios. Okay, we leave it as 3/2. That is your answer. Okay, so don't change these when we're talking about ratios. Ratios are not expressed as a mixed number. Okay, so don't express them that way. All right, now I'll give you another ratio. Boys to students in this class. Boys to students in this class. Okay, just use a little common sense here, people. What is it? What is the ratio? Raise your hand if you think you know the ratio of boys to students. Nicole. What? 3/12. Or 3/12. If there's 9 girls and 3 boys, there has to be 12 students. If the regular ratio is 3:9 for boys to girls, there's no aliens in this class, and I'm not a student. Huh? Well, then your original ratio is wrong. Y'all are saying 9 students, so obviously you got the first one wrong. So, yeah, there would be 3 to 10. No, here, right now. Because if we're going to do that, then we got to say there's 4 boys here. There's not 4 boys. Okay? So it's 3 to 10. All right, now. Let's talk some more about ratios. Ratios must have the same quantity measurement. Okay? What we're talking about there is that if you compare a ratio of boys to girls, we're all humans. Okay? Now, sometimes, obviously, girls don't think boys are human and vice versa, but we are all human. Okay? Whether you think so or not, we are all human. Okay? So, that's a like quantity. I could not compare, for example, I could not compare gallons to feet. Those two are not the same. I could compare gallons to quarts. Okay, because they what? They both measure quantity, liquid. Okay? You could compare feet to miles, feet to yards. That's a ratio because they both measure distance. Okay? So ratios got to be comparing the same thing or similar thing. All right? So make sure, because we're going to talk about ratios today, and then later this week we'll talk about rates. Okay? Rates are comparing things that are not the same, like miles, gallons, kilometers, and liters. Okay? That's a rate. So we'll talk about rates later. Rates are different in a lot of different ways. They're still a comparison of two numbers, but it's different. Okay? Now, the thing is, when you have a ratio that is comparing two quantities, you must put both numbers in the same unit of measurement. Okay, let me give you an example. Let's say I had 5 feet to 10 inches. Okay, 5 feet to 10 inches. All right. Well, the fraction would be 5 over 10. A lot of people would be tempted to go ahead and just reduce that as it sits. You can't do that, because that's feet and that's inches. So we want to convert to the smallest unit of measurement. Okay, of feet and inches, which is the smallest? Inches. So I want to convert 5 feet. So right here we want to convert 5 feet to inches. What would 5 feet be in inches? What? 60. So 5 feet would be 60 inches. So now I take and do my ratio 60 inches over 10 inches. And what does that reduce to? 6 over 1. So 6 over 1, not 6. 6 over 1 would be your answer. Now, if you lose track of your conversions, like minutes, all that stuff, okay, it's in the back cover of your book. Okay, all your conversions, like feet to yards, yards to miles, all that stuff. Okay, I want you to do this one on your own. 2 pounds to 18 ounces. How many ounces are in a pound? 16. And that is back there in the back of the book, if you on the back cover. Yeah. Inside back cover, I guess, would be the better way to put it. Yeah, that's what we said like 5 minutes ago. So 2 pounds to 18 ounces. Raise your hand when you have the answer. All right. Matthew? Nope. You're close. Derek? 16 over 9. 32 over 18 is what it starts out to be, but we must reduce all ratios. So you reduce that by 2, and you get 16 over 9. Okay? All right. Your homework. You have 8.1, 2 through 34. Now, everybody look at number 2. Number 2 says, number 2. Number 2 says, write the ratio of the first number to the second number in 3 ways. So all you got to do is 1:7, 1 to 7, and 1 over 7. Okay? That's the 3 ways. If it doesn't tell you which way to express it as a fraction.